Bentley is nothing if not pragmatic. It has to be, given the prevailing economic winds that buffet British luxury brands like Aston Martin and Jaguar. But Bentley has had a very good year so far, and the Bentayga has played an outsized role in filling the company's coffers. To celebrate, Crewe has taken a little stretch break and dreamed up an extended wheelbase EWB variant of its imposing luxury SUV. After spending some time with the Bentayga EWB, it's clear that pragmatism pays dividends, along with a first-class experience in the EWB's second row that is truly a special thing. On some level, yes, the EWB is a stretch job, a Bentayga suitable for those who'd prefer to be in back rather than in the driver's seat. That will certainly be the case for some owners, not as many as you'd think. But Bentley went to some effort to ensure that the transformation is more extensive than a mere cut and paste, with a claimed 2,500 new parts, a trick rear steering system, and some very lavish rear seat options. For one, the longer wheelbase and roof serve to visually lean out the Bentayga, giving it an imposing and more graceful look. Massaged character lines on the flanks, a vertical vane grille adapted from the maw of the new Flying Spur, and a polished version of the Bentayga's 22-inch wheels help sell the stretch. The unbalanced door shapes, an immense rear door dwarfing a much smaller front one, break the spell a bit. But it's unavoidable when class-leading rear passenger space and access are the prime motivator. Only a tenth of a second slower to 60 miles per hour than its shorter V8 stablemate, the 542 horsepower EWB doesn't leave much on the table. The 220 extra pounds of EWB it lugs around seem to be a drop in a very large bucket. The total is now 7,165 pounds, to be exact. At the moment, the 4.0-liter, twin-turbocharged V8 is the EWB's only available engine. We're curious why Bentley didn't go with the Bentayga's available W12 engine, but maybe it'll be worked into an even more exclusive version of this longer SUV. More important, the dynamic balance isn't changed much. Yes, the EWB is 7.0 inches longer, but a new rear steering system, the first on a Bentayga, means its turning circle is smaller than a short wheelbase Bentayga. Add in the magic of adjustable dampers, which range from slightly softer than a regular Bentayga to just as stiff in sport mode, and standard 48-volt active roll bars, and you have a vehicle that doesn't feel as long or portly as it actually is, from the driver's seat, at least. That adds up to an experience on a windy road that shouldn't nauseate any passengers lounging in the back, and one that should even entertain the driver. The EWB's sheer mass obfuscates its performance slightly. Bentley claims it'll hit 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, and there's no reason to doubt it, but the way it gathers speed makes it feel deliberate rather than explosive. Think steam train rather than overgrown WRX. Power and torque are ample and easily accessible, and in sport mode the exhaust emits a pleasant and stately growl, although the accelerator's slow tip-in makes rolling into the throttle smoothly a slight challenge. From the back seat, it's hard to think about anything other than the amount of sheer space you have to relax, and even recline, in. Voluminous isn't even the word, it's like a first-class suite from one of those extra-exclusive long-haul airlines grafted into an SUV. The space is larger inside than the old Mulsanne sedan, which was even longer, and which the EWB effectively replaces. While even the basic 3 across rear seats, as you'd find in a regular Bentayga, allows you to enjoy the space, it takes the more exclusive seating options, the 4+1 and the 4-seater arrangements, to fully appreciate the EWB's accommodations. There is, however, no third-row seating option, and with all the stretch happening in between the wheels, rear cargo room is unchanged from the short wheelbase models. Airline seat, for most, probably invokes memories of economy-class torture devices. But think instead of the cushiest business class throne and then give it 22 forms of adjustment. Then add some useful intelligence, a system that uses sensors to automatically heat and cool both your back and bottom to just the right temperature chosen from 6 levels. A nearly imperceptible shuffling of the massage bladders to gently move your body over the course of 3 hours to avoid anything going numb. And most important, the ability to recline as much as 40 degrees, plenty for a nice snooze or to simply gaze up through the gargantuan overhead glass panel, all while breathing air purified by ionizers. All of this can be accomplished with a few taps on the screen of a very slick, removable touch-sensitive panel that motors out from the back of the front console and separates from its magnetic base with a gentle tug. You can control either seat, the climate control, open the massive sunshade above, and do a number of other things. But scooting the front seat forward, deploying its footrest, and snuggling down in your fully reclined airline seat for a rest will be the most popular application of this little device. And we predict the airline seat option, which is available on both the 4+1 and the 4-seat configurations, will be the most popular seating option for the EWB, despite its substantial 5-figure cost, given its impressive comfort and opulent air. Equally important for some customers, given the size of the rear doors, are the optional power rear door motors. Their use is intuitive: nudge the open door, and it'll motor, closed at a deliberate pace. From inside, a button push will recall the door. preventing what could be a long and awkward reach to the door pull. Bentley worked harder with the EWB to conquer the dreaded noise, vibration, and harshness that may have ensued from the modifications needed to provide the longer, more spacious, and potentially more eco-wide rear compartment. After all, there are larger expanses of glass, both above and on the sides. The problem was tackled twofold: the acoustic glazing on the glass was revised, and the exhaust system was redesigned. Pair this with reworked damper programming. The softest setting is noticeably softer than that on other Bentaygas, and the result is a more serene experience. With so much technology incorporated into the suspension, and with such a wide operating range, the surprising thing is that there's virtually no wrong answer when it comes to selecting a drive mode in the EWB. Comfort is downy soft, with only the distant suggestion of bumps and heaves, but blissfully devoid of any boat-like side-to-side motions, thanks to its well-tuned active roll bars. Meanwhile, the firmest setting offers improved information about road surfaces and textures, without a hint of punishment. With body motion so well controlled, choosing a suspension setting is more about how much engagement you desire than how much swaying you can endure. The additional wheelbase length certainly plays a role, too, in helping the car settle between each axle rolling over an imperfection. The EWB is available in base, azure, and first edition trim levels, each with the sort of additional lathered-on layers of excess you'd expect as you progress through the line. A few things of note are new with the EWB, including several intriguing and new options: a new quilting pattern on the seats, interesting metal overlays handlaid onto the trim, and Bentley diamond illumination ambient lighting that shines through the leather door cards in an interesting and impressive display. Bentley expects customers to eagerly load up their EWB with all the extras, including the airline seats and extra-cost paint and interior options. And the EWB also provides an extra-large canvas for Mulliner to customize even further. But what might be more surprising is how much of the sales mix Bentley expects the EWB to gobble up: 40% of sales globally, including the Chinese market that prizes rear seat space. In America, that could rise to 60% of the Bentayga pie. Why? Nothing in the company's conversations with eager customers indicates EWB owners will spend more time chauffeured in the back than any other Bentley owner. But there are other reasons to go big with an extra-long and somewhat unique Bentayga, and that's revealed in the company's notes on revenues. Bentley buyers are spending more per vehicle than ever before, and unsurprisingly, they value space and luxury more than utility, particularly at the top of the range, where the EWB sits. After all, the EWB is significantly more expensive than its short wheelbase counterparts, starting at $229,625, or an impressive $266,225 for the Azure trim, and offers plenty opportunity to lather on options and indulge with upgrades like the airline seat. Bentley imagines many customers will add $40,000 or so to the base price of the EWB model they choose, a figure that's not hard to understand considering the prices of some options. 4-place interior with airline seats? That'll be $14,915. But these outlays will not only make it theirs, but also create the sort of impressive display and price tag that a majestic vehicle like the Mulsanne sedan used to embody.